it's pretty difficult to come back without really good positioning. And he tried that with the Zerglings, but Snoof, he wasn't really interested in taking any poor engagements until he was ready to win that game. So just really good decision-making by Snoof in game number 1.
Yeah, Snoof not taking any risk, playing it safe, and taking the victory in the long run. Really, where the game turned around was, of course, at the third base, and when Snoof defended that first initial aggression by Mini Razor. I really felt that Mini Razor just didn't make enough drones for a long time. He was on 40 to 45 drones for pretty much the entire mid-game, which is a little bit low to have on 3 bases, but Snoof was constantly attacking, so that might be one of the reasons that he didn't have as many drones as he'd like. But all that being said, guys, we're going to be jumping into the second game in this best of 3. A lot is possible, and as you were able to see, this was a pretty close EVZ, so I'm hoping that we might see a 1-1 and an ace match coming up, because that's always a lot of fun to see. Anyway, we're going to be... are we jumping into the next game yet? I don't believe the lobby is set up yet.
Do not think so.
No, so we might be going out for a quick commercial break, guys. That's probably what we're going to be doing. You're tuning into the WCS EU qualifier for the Challenger League, Season 1, of course. We've got a lot of great players here today. I'm Lurlin, with me is Nathanius. We're going to be going out for that quick commercial break. We should be back within a minute for our second game in this best of 3 Zerg vs. Zerg series. We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to the WCS EU Challenger League qualifier number 1. We're about to jump into our second game. A ZVZ on Belgier Vestige is coming up, or Belgier Vestige, if you like to throw in a bit of that French accent. Snoof versus Mini Razor ZVZ is coming up, game number 2 on that set map. So, what are we expecting out of game 2 here? We're just waiting for the ready out of Snoof. There it is, and the countdown has begun, so we can get this show on the road. Nathanius, are you expecting any different plays on this map compared to the one we just played?
Well, Lillian, as far as Belcher Vestige goes for ZVZ, it's a slightly longer rush distance we're going to see than Akalon Wastes. So maybe a slightly less chance that we'll have big aggression. Both of these players seemed pretty comfortable going for the macroeconomic openers in game number 1. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, but we could, on the same hand, see some different. Could be the exact reason why we get some aggression here, possibly out of our player that's up 1 in this best of 3 series, but. Spawning in the top left position as our yellow Zerg player coming in for Fnatic, it is Mini Razor. And spawning in the bottom right position as our red Zerg player, managing to take game number 1, a pretty close game. It is Team Properties Snoofa.
And he is going up to 10 supply right now, and he doesn't start. Oh, there he goes. For a second, I thought he was not going to start that Overlord and do something sneaky, but so he's going to go for the 10 Overlord and the gas trick, I expect. Yeah, there he goes. So just a bit of a difference opener there. Mini Razor just going to take it the standard way by making an Overlord on 9, whereas Snoof, we don't really see that as much anymore. Do you agree? The supply trick with the gas?
You know, it's It's one of those things that's kind of, it's just a stylistic choice, really. You get to build the extra drone slightly quicker, but you're going to delay the next one after that a little bit more, so doesn't really give any real advantage. Most pro players that still do it either do it out of habit or maybe because they feel like getting that drone mining a bit earlier is more useful, but it's not really going to have an impact on where the game is going. And as far as strategies go, both players opening up pretty economically. We will have a hatch first from Snoofy this game, though. He's going to basically get an extra larva faster. It's not a huge deal, but he's actually going to time his gas now before his pool, though, so he is going to try to go for as fast of a speedling follow-up as he can. And at the same time, we have the gas and the pool starting for Mini Razor before he starts his hatchery. Drone is headed down there, though. And, yeah, so both players going for pretty standard safe openers.
Well, I'm not entirely in agreement there. I think Snoof is taking a bit of a risk. You know, his spawning pool is super late here compared from what we usually see. If he would be getting like 8, 9, or 10 pulled right now to counter his hatch first, he would be in a lot of trouble. His spawning pool would be super duper late. He would be losing his hatchery. He would be losing a lot of drones. I think Snoof is taking a bit of an economic risk by going very greedy since he's up a game. He's just assuming that his opponent wasn't going to go for some kind of a early pool build. Do you agree?
It's entirely possible, yeah. I gotta imagine that these players hit each other on the ladder a reasonable amount of time. And as far as 15 hatch goes, like I said, the map's rush distance is long enough that if an Overlord spotted Zerglings coming, or if there was a really fast pool, there's a possibility that Snoofer should be able to get out his Zerglings in time. We see most of the time when these kind of situations occur, drones being pulled to help hold it off. So it's a bit of a risk versus anything probably earlier than a 10 pool, but it's entirely possible to hold it. But as you said, it is a bit of a risk, but he's not going to be punished terribly much for it this game. No. And Mini Razor, he's going back to the one drone on gas after starting that pool, so he does like getting that late Baneling nest. I feel like this is something that Snoofe could exploit, but doesn't seem to be the case. His speed is on the way still with 3 drones on gas, so he could get a faster Baneling nest, and well, there it is on the way. And nothing really unusual happening so far this game. Has that queen. Looks like it's positioned in the bottom left of the natural for Snoof. Not too sure what it's doing over there. But
hunting for overlords?
Yeah, perhaps he's... most of the time these Zerg players like to throw their overlords just in the center of the field to try to catch any units that are moving by, but that queen was looking for any ninja overlords, I guess. Baneling Nest is starting for Mini Razor just a tiny bit later. This didn't really have a significant impact on the play for game number 1. What I'm curious to see, though, is, well, 10 Zerglings are now in production for Snoof. Is he going to be the one going on the aggressive side to start this game off?
Well, it looks like he might be doing a little bit of a poke. He starts 10 lings, but after that he goes right back into droning. But look at that, on the other side of the map, Mini Razor, he is not making 10 Zerglings and a few drones. He's making 20 Zerglings outright as he pauses the game. That's a bit unfortunate, but yeah, 20 Zerglings coming out. I don't think... Did he catch a glimpse of the Zerglings that Snoof produced? I don't think he did. So these Zerglings are probably just going to be offensive one. And look at the way that Snoof is taking with his Zerglings. He's going to circumvent any kind of Overlord positioning. Oh, he's going to run through the Watchtower, though. That's a shame. Takes such a long way around to avoid Overlord detection and then runs through the Watchtower vision.
Yeah, it was barely in the vision of that tower, but Mini Razor bringing his Zerglings up. He does have the Zergling count advantage. The Overlord, the Zerglings do see those, so we should see a couple of defensive Banelings for Snoof. He does have them building by that natural hatchery. Gets a pretty solid hit off, though, on Snoop's Zerglings, kind of running by that tower, those Banelings that were there, and he's going to run in here, but Mini Razor is coming in. The Banelings do get sniped, but he's going to make his way into the main base, waiting for some Zerglings to finish, is Mini Razor. He's going to have to fight with the drones for a little bit. And this is a really nice way to do damage. He's forcing him to keep the drones off of the minerals, missing that mining time, and well, he's just droning up behind this, and this is a really smart decision by Mini Razor, just going straight into a little bit more economy after doing some damage. Snoof is either going to have to go on the aggressive side and risk not building any more drones, or he's just going to build more drones and let Mini Razor get ahead. But more interesting, I think, right now is that we have a Roachwarren coming in for Snoof.
Ooh, that's that Baneling there detonating on the last Zergling that Mini Razor had in the base. Not the best move there by Snoof, but yeah, he's got the Roachwarren on the way, Nathanias, and that's That's new. That's weird. That's not something we saw in the first game. Mini Razor looks to be playing this out in a normal way. He does feel a little bit threatened, though. He throws down 2 spine crawlers, so he's expecting some kind of pressure here of his opponent, and he's right to be expecting that. Nothing but roaches in the production tab right now for Snoof. And look at his supply. He's got 58 over 92. That's telling me many more roaches should be coming.
Yeah, a pretty solid Baneling detonation there over at the natural. He's going to cancel one of these spine crawlers. I was going to say 2 spines should be able to deal with this quite fine. He's not going for any kind of real timing that we often see from this. The roaches could be purely defensive. He hasn't moved out with them yet. 6 more coming out, though. So this is looking a bit more aggressive, but oftentimes we see an early evolution chamber or something like +1 to help 2-shot the Zerglings. Mini Razor, as long as his overlords can spot this coming, if he can catch sight of this, he should be all right, but he's morphing in some Banelings right outside Snoop's base. I don't know if this is the best idea right now.
No, might not be what he needs. He needs to be on the defensive right now. Just a minute ago, Snoof cancelled his gases at the natural base. He cancelled his 3rd and his 4th gas, and he's going to go completely all in with his Zergling Roach attack. Maybe he felt he took too much damage. Maybe he wants to take a quick victory. The 3rd base for Mini Razor is definitely going to have to be forced to cancel. There it goes. Is going to be cancelling that up. Might even cancel his extractors there to get the drones back. He's going to need everything that he has in order to defend this. He's throwing down so many spine crawlers. 5 on the way, 6, 7. Oh my god. A lot of panic spine crawlers are going up here by Mini Razor, but here comes Snuff. He's got a lot of Banelings here, and the spine crawlers are pretty clumped up. He might be able to get some good hits here, and yeah, there he goes, forcing the cancel on a lot of those spine crawlers, and the roaches are now coming in. More Banelings behind this, and I don't think Mini Razor has got what he needs to defend against this at all. He's got 22 Lings on the way, but also that Spire, and that's not going to do any good for him right now.
Yeah, Mutalisk is going to take 5 years to kill all of this, and he doesn't have the mineral count he needs. The Spire actually being targeted down by Snoof, and Mini Razor's just going to throw out the GG, and that's going to be a quick game number 2. Snoof doing yeah, it was a very interesting, kind of reactionary timing to what was going on, and it played out really well for him. We actually saw Mini Razor pocket some Zerglings to try to run in after Snoof left his base, try to go for a counterattack, but like you said, those spine crawlers were so clumped up. It really made those Banelings way too cost effective. He wasn't able to get any real defenses up. I feel like if he had had the 2nd spine crawler from earlier instead of canceling it, might have been able to buy him a little bit more time, possibly with a transfuse or something like that. But a little bit of an unfortunate way to go down. He tried to get the Spire up, and if you can get those spine crawlers to defend, then he has the Mutalisks. There's no lair on the field for Snoof, and Mini Razor can kind of start to poke away and possibly even just win if he can kill the Queens. But a bit unfortunate, and that's our first series so far here today at the WCS EU Challenger Qualifier number 1. It's pretty good stuff. We'll have to get you guys into the next game as soon as we can. I am Nathanius, casting here. Today with me is Lirian, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the game so far.
Yeah, I've definitely been enjoying this series, even though it was a 2-0. It was well played by Snoof. He took a bit of that economic risk by going for a very greedy economic opener, then took a bit of damage by Mini Razor and decided to follow it up with an all-in. He was up a game, so even if the all-in wouldn't work, he would have the last game to fall back on. So I just have to commend Snoof there for his decision-making. Was a good call to go for that all-in at that time, and Mini Razor didn't catch wind of it in time to be able to react. So that's going to be it for our first series. We're going to be looking to get you in the second series of this WCS EU Qualifier Challenger League. My God, it's a long title. It's a long title. I mean, being able to say Code A qualifiers or Code S, that's so much quicker. I mean, we should have a different name, just like they do in Korea, like Code A. So much easier. Anyway, that being said, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break, guys. We're going to get on top of finding you the next game that we're going to be casting. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tetra here with a bit of information for you on the player we had in that last game, Snoof. Snoof is a Zerg player for Team Property and has some very decent tournament results, taking home a couple of Playhem EU dailies. And in the most recent DreamHack, he did also go out of his first stage group, getting ahead of both Bly and Welmu, which is an incredibly decent performance. However, in his Group 3 stage, he did go out in his group with Pult. Impressive performance by him. From his past, we can see that it's that he'll, and it's shaping to be a really good tournament as we expected. We saw Aod, who beat Positive, the Korean player, and he will be going up against Run A in the next round. And other than that, not too many games have been played. Storm has beaten Milord, I think his name is. I may have pronounced that wrong, and if so, I apologise. But I'm really excited about this. I don't know about you two.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that as well. I'm just now trying to contact people to get our next series on the way, and Ike, the player that we were trying to get, that I was trying to get earlier, is going to be playing against MC. So we might be able to get into that game. I know a lot of people in the chat want to see MC play, so we're going to do our best to maybe jump into that series. We're also looking into other series, so should be able to get back to you in not too much time. Everyone would like to see MC play, but his ESL account doesn't have any game accounts attached onto it, so there's actually not really a easy way of knowing what name he is using on the EU server and what his character code is. So we are having a bit of communication issues with that Korean player.
Indeed, but if we look at the bracket, at the kind of people he will be playing when he gets through, he will have to go through players such as Benson, Fuser, Hob, Wilco, Nama, if he wants to get into the round of 4.
Yeah, so he's going to have a lot of tough competition ahead of himself. I do have MC and I do have Ike, so I might be able to set up this lobby as soon as I know what map they should be playing on.
Should be fun to catch an MC game, guys. Always one of the more entertaining players in the scene, for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, his trash talking and his overconfidence are super fun to watch usually. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get Ike in contact with MC, and we should be able to jump into that game in just a second, guys. So we might get SK Gaming's MC go up against Ike, which should be a good match. We're going to be right back in just a second, guys. We're working this out. Stay with us.
Hi, hello guys, welcome back to the WCS EU Challenger League qualifier number 1. I am Nathanius, here with me is Lirian, and we are going to be bringing you guys another game very soon. We've got MC from SK Gaming versus Ike from Micronase Supremacy. So we are actually going to be getting that lobby set up very shortly, and our first game of MC that we get to cast, Lirian. Looking forward to this. How about you?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm invited into the game right now, so join off me. Go, go, go. And
All right.
We're going to get this party started. So, yeah, you're right, the first game of MC, and there's probably more to follow, I dare to say. I dare to make a prediction that MC is going to do pretty well in this tournament. He's probably the best Korean that we have in this tournament. I believe I've seen Duck the Duck, and I've seen MVP Tails.
Yeah.
Also compete in this tournament. So we've got a few top Koreans in here, but MC definitely get the best papers. They are ready. We are ready to set up. It's going to be a Protoss versus Terran on Achelon Wastes to start this best of 3 off with.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Terran player myself, should be interesting to see this game. Players just checking if they are ready, and we're going to get into this as soon as we can. I believe you're a Protoss player yourself, Lirian, so should have some fun casting this match starting on Achelon Waste. And while the timer is going, guys, we're going to jump into this as soon as we can. But Lirian, quick thoughts on Achelon Waste PvT.
I'm actually a little bit confused when we should have stopped talking because there's going to be a map introduction. But I'm sure we'll get that. We'll get that soon. Yeah, so PvT on Achelon Wastes, you're looking at that beautiful map introduction that we've got set up right now. We'll get into that in just a second. First, I'm gonna throw it to a real quick introduction of these two players here. In the bottom right, playing as purple, one of my favorite colors to play as in StarCraft 2. It is Team Micronase Supremacy's Ike. And in the top left spawn position, we've got a Protoss player that you should all be familiar with. He's from Korea, but not currently in Korea. He's playing from Germany, so he's got a 0 lag, 0 latency, and he can perform the best that he ever will. It is the red Protoss player. It is the Boss Dolls. It is SK Gaming's MC. I'm looking forward to this. This is gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be a difficult match for Ike, though. He's gonna probably play against the best opponent he's ever had.
Yeah, talk about an opponent, one of the highest earning StarCraft 2 players ever. MC, GSL, top level competitor, champion. This is going to be a very, very difficult uphill battle for Ike, but that's the beauty of these qualifiers. We get players that come out here not known as much, and maybe Ike has some special abilities have prepared for Protoss just for this qualifier. Maybe he's going to wow and dazzle us all. That is the beauty of WCS. That is the beauty of these qualifiers, but we are going to have pretty standard openers so far from these players. No crazy fast gas from Ike. I tried to, I guess, I was trying to ask you a bit earlier, Lirian, any particular thoughts as a Protoss player on this map, specifically versus Terran?
Well, on this map, I'd always go for one gate expand, but that's really what you do on any map versus Terran in the current meta game. So that's not really that particular. Taking a third base, relatively easy versus Terran on this map. When you get Blink, it's easy to defend a fourth base, relatively easy too. I don't think this is a very bad map to try and play macro game on as a Protoss player versus a Terran, and that's one of the reasons why I think that this map was left in the map pool. How are you feeling on this map as a Terran player?
Well, first I just want to agree with you. Yeah, it's such a good map for macroing, especially with how easy it is to secure bases later the game it goes. But from a Terran perspective, at least looking at the opener that we have out of Ike, he's kind of going for not the fastest gas possible. It's a little bit more of a conservative build. He will be able to go for a fast factory if he wants to with this depot finishing up. But in terms of overall strategy, there's a lot of airspace outside of the main, the top areas of the map. There's good cliff usage that you can kind of abuse with the Metavacs, especially with that speed boost. But like you said, we do have MC. He's actually playing off of one gas. This does look like it's going to be a fast expand from our SK Protoss. He's open with the Zealot.